All right, strap yourselves in because today we are taking a deep dive into simulation theory.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, are we living in a computer simulation? Is everything we see and experience just, I don't know, code?
Like a video game.
Yeah, like a really, really advanced video game.
Right, but we're inside it.
We're inside it and we don't even know.
You wouldn't know.
And this isn't just like a sci-fi thing, right? Like, I know The Matrix popularized it,
Right.
but this is an actual idea that's being seriously debated by,
Philosophers, physicists,
physicists.
computer scientists.
Yeah, serious people.
Yeah.
And we've got a ton of different sources for this deep dive that we're going to be taking a look at.
That we're going to be diving into.
Yeah, diving into.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into this, maybe we should clarify, like, what do we even mean by being in a simulation?
Yeah, what does it actually mean?
Because it's kind of a mind-boggling thing.
There are a couple different ways to think about it. I mean, the most extreme version is that, like, every single thing...
Everything is simulated.
Every atom, every
atom,
every thought.
Everything is just code.
Running on
a computer.
some massive supercomputer.
So we're not even real.
Yeah. So we're basically just like characters in a video game.
Right.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. What's another way?
Another way is maybe WE are real, but the world around us is simulated.
Oh, like the Matrix.
Yeah, like
Right.
we're plugged into this system
Okay.
that's feeding us this fake reality.
Yeah, so our brains are real, but everything.
Right, and that kind of relies on the idea that virtual reality could get so good
Yeah.
that we can't even tell the difference.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy, but
Yeah.
you know, with VR and everything developing like it is,
Who knows?
it's not totally out there.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so we've got this kind of basic understanding of what it might mean to be in a simulation.
Right.
Now let's look at the arguments for and against it.
And one name that keeps popping up on the pro side is philosopher Nick Bostrom.
Yeah, he wrote this paper back in 2003 called "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?"
Right. And it's kind of like the...
It's kind of like the foundation for a lot of the modern debate on this topic.
Yeah, okay, so what's his argument in a nutshell?
Well, his argument really hinges on this idea of post-human civilizations.
Okay, what does that even mean?
So by post-human, he means a society that's so technologically advanced
Right.
that they've essentially transcended human limitations as we understand them.
Okay, so like picture humans a million years in the future.
Yeah.
With technology that we can't even fathom.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And Bostrom suggests that if humanity reaches that point, we would probably be able to create these really detailed simulations of our ancestors.
So we could create a simulated universe just like ours.
Right, exactly.
Like playing The Sims, but like on a cosmic scale.
Right, yeah. And if we can create one simulation, why not a million? Why not a billion? So his point is, if there are all these countless simulated universes out there, statistically speaking, it's actually more likely that we're in one of those simulations rather than the original universe.
Wait, so you're saying there's like a higher probability that we're all just like Sims characters right now?
Well, it's more complicated than that.
Okay.
That's where the concept of the multiverse comes in.
Oh boy. Okay, what's the multiverse and how did that play into this?
So think of the multiverse as like this giant container that holds all these different universes,
Okay.
all existing alongside each other. Maybe
Right.
some are similar to ours, some are totally different.
Right.
And simulated universes, they're just another type of universe
Yeah.
within that giant multiverse.
Okay, so it's like those Russian nesting dolls,
Yeah.
but instead of dolls, it's universes.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I'm following.
Okay.
So let's get back to the tech side of things. Is it even remotely possible that we, like even with our fancy computers and our AI, could create a simulation powerful enough to create a whole universe?
I mean, think about it. Even in the last few decades,
Yeah.
computing power has grown exponentially.
That's true.
I mean, your smartphone is more powerful than the computers that landed us on the moon.
Yeah, that's wild.
So if you take that trend
Right.
and you extrapolate it out hundreds of years, thousands of years,
Yeah.
who knows what we'll be capable of?
So we could become those super advanced beings creating our own simulated universes.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
Right.
there's this tech entrepreneur named Rizwan Virk,
Okay.
and he wrote a book called The Simulation Hypothesis, and he actually thinks that we are well on our way to achieving full-blown simulation.
Oh, wow. Really? Does he have like insider knowledge or something?
Well, he lays out what he calls 10 checkpoints on the
Okay.
road to simulation.
Uh,
These are like markers of technological progress. And he says that we've already passed several of them.
Okay, like what? Give us some examples.
Well, some of them have to do with advancements in VR, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
and even our understanding of consciousness.
Okay, interesting. But,
Hmm.
I mean, is everyone on board with this simulation theory? Is there anyone who thinks this is all just crazy talk?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
There were some pretty strong arguments against it, too.
Okay, let's hear those.
Yeah.
So let's hear them. What are some of the biggest arguments against simulation theory?
Well, physicist Lisa Randall, she makes a really interesting point.
Okay.
She says, okay, let's say this super advanced civilization
Uh-huh.
that can simulate entire universes.
Right.
Why would they choose to simulate US?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, out of all the things to simulate, why humans?
Why would we be so interesting?
Exactly. It makes you think about the motivation behind it all.
Right, like, are we really the center of some grand cosmic experiment?
Well, maybe not.
It kind of reminds me of that Carl Sagan quote
Oh, yeah.
about, the universe being a waste of space if it
Yeah.
was just us.
Right. Exactly.
But, okay, let's say, for argument's sake, these advanced beings, DO, want to simulate us for whatever reason.
Okay.
Wouldn't it take, like, an insane amount of computing power
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
to create a universe as complex as ours?
Yeah, I mean, even with technology millions of years ahead of us,
Yeah.
it might just be impossible.
Really?
Yeah, there was some research published in 2017 by these physicists, Zohar Ringel and Dmitry Kovrizi,
Okay.
and they suggest that it might not even be possible to simulate quantum computers.
Okay, hold on. Back up for a second.
Sure.
What's a quantum computer?
So basically, think of a quantum computer as like a super-powered computer
Okay.
that can perform calculations using quantum mechanics.
Okay, and why is that relevant to simulating reality?
Well, to simulate something as complex as reality,
Yeah.
you would need something at least as powerful as a quantum computer. And what these physicists found is that even simulating these might be impossible
Wow.
with our current understanding of physics and technology.
So even if we, I don't know, figure out some crazy new technology in the future,
Right.
there might just be fundamental limits to what we can simulate.
Yeah, exactly. There might be laws of physics that prevent us from ever reaching that level of computing power.
Okay, so maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with this whole simulation talk.
Maybe a little bit.
But, I mean, even if we can't, prove or disprove it right now,
Uh-huh.
it's still a pretty wild thought, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most thought-provoking ideas out there.
Yeah, it makes you question everything about reality.
Yeah, what is reality? What are the limits of what we can know? What does it even mean to be human?
I know, it's like, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Right.
But okay, let's talk about the consequences.
Okay.
What if we could prove we're in a simulation?
Right.
Would that even be a good thing?
Well, that's what some philosophers are worried about.
There's this philosophy professor, Preston Green,
Okay.
and he suggests that proving we're in a simulation could actually be a really bad thing.
Oh, okay. Like what? Are we talking like Matrix-style robot uprising bad?
No, not quite.
Yeah.
But his idea is, what if our simulated world is some kind of experiment
Okay.
run by these future humans,
Yeah.
and they don't want their subjects to become self-aware?
It's like those psychology experiments.
Right, exactly.
Where they have to, keep the participants in the dark.
Yeah, you have to deceive them.
Yeah, otherwise they could mess up the results.
Right, the results are no longer valid.
Right.
So Green's saying, if the purpose of our simulated world is to observe how we behave,
Uh-huh.
then us becoming aware of the simulation could, ruin the whole experiment.
Oh, so they might just shut it down.
Exactly.
Whoa, okay, that's a little terrifying.
Yeah, so maybe it's better to not know
Right.
if our simulated existence has some purpose for these creators.
Yeah. Our awareness of that purpose could completely mess things up.
So the illusion would be
Yeah,
broken.
exactly. The experiment's ruined.
Okay, but let's say we are in a simulation
Yeah.
and there's nothing we can do about it.
Okay.
We can't escape. We can't change the fact that we're being observed.
Right.
Does that mean we're just puppets in someone else's game?
That's a really big question.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of what it means to have free will,
Right.
even within a simulated environment.
Yeah.
And Rizwan Virk, the tech entrepreneur we mentioned earlier,
Uh-huh.
he has some interesting thoughts on this.
Okay, what did he say?
He says, even if we are in a simulation, wouldn't it be helpful to understand the rules of the game?
So instead of worrying about whether the game is real or not,
Right.
we should just focus on how to play it well.
Exactly. He thinks that understanding the parameters of our simulated reality, if that's what it is,
Yeah.
could help us navigate it more effectively.
So, like, how do we figure out the rules?
Well, that's the tricky part.
Yep.
But Verk suggests that his 10 checkpoints, those markers of technological progress,
Okay.
might offer some clues.
Okay, so remind me, what are some of those checkpoints again?
Well, for example, one checkpoint is the advancement of VR to the point where it's indistinguishable from real life.
Okay.
Another is the development of AI that can pass the Turing test.
Right, so it can, like, hold a conversation and you can't tell it's not a human.
Exactly.
Okay.
And another checkpoint is our increasing understanding of consciousness, which could lead to the ability to create artificial consciousness within a simulation.
Okay, so you're saying by looking at these advancements,
Yeah.
we can start to understand what's possible within a simulated reality.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Okay, I can see how that logic works, but if we're in a simulation created by these super advanced beings,
Right.
what's their motivation? What are they trying to achieve by creating us? I mean, if we are in a simulation, why? Like, what's the point of it all?
Well, we don't know for sure, of course,
Yeah.
but we can kind of speculate based on,
Yeah,
human nature,
Right.
what we know about ourselves.
right, and just kind of,
Extrapolate that out.
extrapolate
Yeah.
to these super advanced beings.
Right, so put on your thinking caps, everybody.
Yeah.
What are some possible reasons for creating a simulation like ours?
One possibility is entertainment.
Entertainment.
Like, imagine
Okay.
a civilization so advanced
Yeah.
that they can create entire universes just for fun.
So we're basically just like Sims characters,
Kind of, yeah.
and these super intelligent beings are our players.
It's a bit of a strange thought.
Yeah, it makes all those like alien conspiracy theories seem a little less crazy now.
Yeah. Like, oh, maybe they are watching us.
Yeah.
It's for entertainment.
It's for a different reason.
Yeah, it raises some ethical questions, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like creating sentient beings just for your amusement.
That's a bit morally ambiguous.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah.
Like knowing that everything I do is being watched and analyzed.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah, for someone else's entertainment. Okay, so entertainment's one possibility.
Right.
What else?
Another idea is that the simulation is a giant experiment.
An experiment. Okay.
So maybe they're trying to understand the origins of life, the
Okay.
development of consciousness,
Okay.
or even just how societies function under different conditions.
So we're like lab rats in a giant petri dish.
In a way, yeah.
That's kind of humbling.
It is, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. If the simulation is designed to advance knowledge,
Uh-huh.
it could benefit everyone, even us, the simulated beings.
Right.
Like, the data they gather from our simulated lives
Yeah.
could help them solve problems in their own reality,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
maybe prevent some kind of catastrophe.
Right. So it's like donating your body to science,
Yeah,
but it's your whole existence.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a big donation.
It is.
Okay, but what if the simulation is a form of education or training
Oh, that's interesting.
for the creators? Like,
Yeah, like a giant immersive role-playing game
right.
designed to teach them empathy,
Okay.
problem solving,
Okay.
maybe even the consequences of their actions.
So by experiencing life through our eyes,
Yeah,
they can learn valuable lessons
exactly.
that they can apply in their own reality.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Right, but instead of a mile, it's like a whole lifetime.
An entire simulated lifetime.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what are they learning from us?
Yeah, what are we teaching them?
What are we showing them about life, the universe, everything?
That's a really good question. I'm going to have to think about that one.
Yeah.
But okay, here's the million-dollar question. If we could know for sure, if we're in a simulation,
Yeah.
would we want to know?
That's the ultimate cliffhanger.
It is.
I mean, as long as we don't know, everything's possible.
Right.
But once we know for sure,
Yeah.
everything changes.
I know. It's like, would that knowledge set us free? Or would it trap us?
Exactly.
Would we try to escape the simulation? Or would we just accept it?
It's a question each of us would have to answer for ourselves.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer.
There isn't.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into simulation theory.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. We've explored some really mind-bending concepts.
We have.
We've looked at the arguments for and against it,
And the potential consequences.
and even thought about what it would mean to know the truth.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling a little more philosophical now.
Me too. It's like we've gotten this glimpse behind the curtain of reality. And even if it's a little unsettling, it's also pretty awe-inspiring.
It is. It really is.
So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
whether we're living in a simulation or not,
Right.
the fact that we can even think about this stuff
Yeah.
is pretty incredible.
It speaks to the power of the human mind.
It really does. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep searching for your own truth.
And hey, maybe someday
Yeah.
we'll be the ones creating simulated worlds.
That's a thought.
It is.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap things up.
Until next time,
Keep looking up at the stars.
keep asking the big questions.
Keep wondering about the nature of reality itself.